Amber.
Hi, I'm Janette.
And this is our 100th episode.
Oh, is it?
Crazy.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know
episode.
that.
Yeah,
okay.
our 100th episode. But I had something.
I can't believe we did 100 already,
I know.
and I haven't listened to one of them.
So I actually had something completely different planned for this episode. I just lost track of time and I didn't finish prepping for it. So we'll eventually do that episode. But instead, I thought we would play Would You Rather.
Okay.
Because I thought it was really fun the last time we played. I feel like it wasn't a super popular episode, but I know it's fun for us.
This is going to be fun. Okay, for the 100th episode, we'll just have fun.
I just made these up. So this is me just making this up literally this morning. I kid you not.
This is not like a preset thing. Okay.
Nope. So I made these 10 Would You Rathers up. So play along as you're listening as well to see if you agree or disagree.
Do we have to say why we would rather?
Yeah, we're going to say why as well. So there's a few softballs and then there's a few like weird ones as well. As you may know, because I'm a weird person.
Fun. Okay.
All right, first up, would you rather have free Premier Lightning Lane passes or free food for your entire trip? And for this, we can assume, let's say the trip is like 5 days for all of these, if I say your entire trip.
Okay.
So free Premier Lightning Lanes, and that's like the top tier Lightning Lane, means you don't need a return time. You can go on all the rides.
Okay. That's an easy one. I got it.
Or free food for the entire trip.
Lightning Lane.
You do the Lightning Lane?
Oh, yeah, I do the Lightning Lane. Food to me is something where...
I feel like you'd save more money with the food, though.
I'm not so sure. Not that Premier Lightning Lane. Food to me is one of those things where I like to sit down and have a meal, but we don't eat full breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. So food to me is like, okay, we could do this, we could do that.
But think of how many Rice Krispie treats you could take home with you.
Yes, but I don't care. I think I would...
the experience of going on the rides easy.
Because you know what it is? I would pay for the food whether I had the Lightning Lane or not. So in my brain,
that's a good point.
I think I'm saying to myself, food is something I have to do anyway. Mm-hmm. And how much I spend on my food is a choice.
True.
Where the Premier Lightning Lane is a choice I'm never going to pay for. Mm-hmm. So if I got that free for the whole trip and just could come and go as I please like we used to, that would be so relaxing to me that the food would be my second choice.
Yeah. I guess I would do
that's
the
what I
Lightning
would
Lane
do.
passes as well. I think it would be fun because I think it's like the luxury of just being able to go when you want as well. I think that's a big thing too, that there's no call time for the Premier Lightning Lane passes. So I feel that.
I love the freedom.
All right, number 2. Would you rather only hear It's a Small World theme song for your entire trip? So everywhere you walk, all you hear is the It's a Small World theme song. Okay. Or your entire trip, all you can smell are the turkey legs.
Oh, God. Okay, do you want to go first on this one? We'll take turns.
So I don't know. So I was thinking of this as well. I think I would rather do probably It's a Small World because I do like the theme song. I think I would probably go crazy after 5 days. But the truth is I don't eat meat. So I don't think I could go 5 days of smelling turkey legs.
I don't think I could go with the smell of the turkey legs even for one whole day. And I have to say that
would drive you more crazy.
I love It's a Small World to begin with. The theme doesn't bother me. And I really believe that I could probably tune it out.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm so used to tuning. I'm one of those people, those who know me know that I always have something on in the background. If I'm home.
True. Like it would become background noise eventually.
Yes. To me, it would become background noise. I'd be doing whatever and that would be on in the background. I'd probably have a hard time hearing whatever else I was doing because I can't separate out sounds these days. But I think I could tune that out. Where the smell of the turkey legs is hard to tune out because you just can't ignore
you just smell it forever.
Yes.
It's funny because I actually really like the smell of the turkey legs, funny enough.
Oh, really? Well, because it's roasted meat.
Yeah, it smells, it's like one of those like innate human carnivore type things in you that it's like the small of roasted meat just smells good to you.
Yeah, but I think 24 hours a day for all that time that you're there, I know,
but it's one of those things. I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian, but also I've never even had a turkey leg like that.
I would never eat a turkey leg like that.
Yeah, I've never had one like that.
I don't like
before.
dog meat, so definitely not.
All right, so you're both picking It's a Small World for that. All right, no, that's good. All right, number 3. Would you rather be able to sit down in any restaurant with no reservation, so you can go up to any restaurant and you didn't have to make a reservation 6 days in advance, but you cannot pick what you order, so they would just serve you like a prefixed course meal? Okay. Or would you rather then for your entire trip you can pick whatever you want from quick services, but you have to eat on top of a trash can for every meal?
Okay, this is a tough one. Okay, so, this is.
I think I would still do the sit-down restaurant because I think even though I wouldn't be able to pick what I'm eating, I can always eat around whatever it may be. Like even if they served me like steak, and I don't eat steak, I would still eat the sides.
Wait a minute. Go back and tell me the choice. The choice is I could walk up to any restaurant and sit down. I'd pick that one. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I'd pick a restaurant that I knew that whatever they served me, I would be able
that
to
you would
eat.
like. Yeah.
Right.
No, exactly. Okay. That's the thing. I would still do that because even though I said this because neither of us really like meals that are prefixed course meals.
What's the use of eating if I have to stand over a trash can?
I know. I was trying to think of something to like battle that one. So obviously I thought of the first one first for all of
I understand I'm picky too about my food. So you're a vegetarian. I'm picky about my food. Mm-hmm. So we pick and choose our restaurants that way. But what I would do is I would pick a restaurant that I knew that whatever they fed me, I would probably say, I may not have ordered this on my own every time, but I'd be willing to eat it.
Even just the option of going up to any restaurant and not needing a reservation is such a huge perk, honestly.
I go to Via Napoli every day. give me anything. I'll eat
Go to
anything
Via
you put
Napoli,
in front of me.
Yaki
Yes. There are restaurants that no matter what they put in front of me, I would eat it.
All right,
so
no, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
You'd pick the same thing, even though they would have maybe give you meat.
That's okay because there's always sides to their dishes. So
that's right. There's always the
sides,
sides and stuff.
So
Okay.
They would be okay. I'd make it work for sure.
Okay.
So, all right. 4. Would you rather get stuck on Tower of Terror for 3 hours or get stuck on the Nabi River journey right in front of the singing shaman for 3 hours?
Okay.
So my mom has never been on Tower of Terror.
I've never been on
That's
Tower
why I
of
did this
Terror.
one because you don't really know.
Would
So
I
it's
be
like-
standing still on Tower of Terror for 3 hours?
So you'd be stuck in like the highest part of Tower and Terror.
Okay,
essentially,
as
is what I
opposed
was
to sitting
thinking.
in a boat in front of the shaman for 3 hours. I'd rather be in Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
Because to me, that would just be, you're just sitting there, you're waiting.
Yeah.
As long as they're not sending me up and down for 3 hours, because then that could
Well,
kill somebody.
I have a different question, something like that.
Okay,
soon,
that
so.
would kill somebody. I would.
So I
pick-
guess this one for Luke, I don't think he would have picked that because my brother's afraid of heights. So I feel
He
like
says
that's
he's
kinda
getting
what it
better
is.
at that.
Oh, he is. Good
yes,
for him.
he says he's definitely getting better at that. He wants to go skydiving.
Okay. Wow, he's really just going for it.
Yes, he's going for it. You know, Luke, he goes through his stages. And just the other day, he told me something about where he was, what he was doing or where he was going, something that he says, oh, by the way, I'm getting over my fear of heights. I said, oh, well, that's good.
That's good. It's always good
Yeah.
to get over fear.
Yeah.
I think I would pick Tower of Terror too.
Yeah.
So. All right. So for number 5, would you rather have free tickets, but you can only go during the busiest times of the year? So you can only go on like Easter or on like New Year's Eve or something like that. Or every time you try to enter the parks, there's something wrong with your ticket. So you have to go to guest relations. So free tickets, but you have to go during the busiest times of the year. Or again, you can go whenever you want, but your ticket always has a problem when you try to enter the park and you have to go over
Will
to
they
guest relations.
fix it when I go to guest relations?
Yeah, but then the next day you'll have another problem. You have to go back to guest
every
relations.
day you have to
every
go to
time you
guest
go.
relations.
Yeah.
I'd go during the busy times. I have no patience for standing online for guest relations. I got to tell you, it's always a big, long ordeal. It's never, oh, okay, and 2 minutes later, you're in the park. It's always 20 minutes online.
So even if the tickets are free, let's say for that one, that's like the tickets are still free, but you always have to go to guest relations.
No,
Like,
I'd
there's
just
always
go
a problem.
during the busy
You just
times.
go during the busiest time.
I just walk into the park and deal with it. Because I don't mind. The crowds is something that you have to deal with when you're there at the busy times. But the busy times are also very fun times because they're usually on like
stuff is
Easter
going
or
on.
Christmas.
Yeah, like
and they're on
4th
the
of July.
holidays, which I miss some of that stuff because we haven't done it in so long.
I think I would still do the free tickets, but having something wrong with my ticket. Because
Oh,
I
really?
think I would rather still have, because like when you're on guest relations, then you could still go then when the parks are not busy. So then, I don't know, you're waiting, maybe you wait 20 minutes on guest relations, but then the rest of your day would be so much
Okay.
easier because it'd be so much
I
less
could see
crowded.
that.
So
I could see that.
yeah, but yeah, my mom does not like waiting on
No,
lines
I
or
hate waiting
problems.
online.
Yeah.
I hate waiting. And then you stand at that window. You can't understand a word they're saying. They change.
Oh, 'cause it's through the glass,
Everything is a
yeah.
problem. They've got to change your ticket. They've got to redo everything that's on the ticket. It's always a problem.
So I was rewatching my last Princess Half Marathon vlog recently, and when I was watching it, me and Ted had entered the parks already, and like the vlog had started here because I split the vlog into 2. We had entered the parks, but me and my mom and my dad all had problems with our tickets because we had 2 sets of tickets. So like the tickets were all having problems. Ted was the only one that got in very easily. I remember we were standing there, and as I was vlogging, I said I can see my parents at guest relations talking, and I was just like I can see my mom waving her hands around. So
I have no
I was like, they were
patience.
not having a good time at guest relations.
No.
It ended up being fine, obviously, but it was
Right.
just like figuring it out, you know, is always
And their
a
guest
struggle.
relations, the people at guest relations are very, very nice. They're very, very sweet,
Yes.
very, very nice, very helpful. They do take care of it. I think the queue to guest relations is not handled very well. And I think that's what causes my decision,
Mm-hmm.
is that the last few times I've been on a queue for guest relations, there's been a problem. Either they only have one window open and the person that's at that window, there was one time when they had only 2 windows open and the person at one of the windows was there while 10 people in front of us went
Yeah.
to the 2nd window.
I remember
so
that.
you
That's at
could get
Epcot,
stuck
yeah.
behind somebody who's got a big problem and they can't push those people off. So you have to wait for that to happen. And the other time was they told us we had to wait outside and we'll call you. They never called us. So we waited and waited and waited and ended up going inside and pushing our way into the inside saying, look, you got to do something here. So I think that I would rather not deal with guest relations if I don't
It's
have to.
fine. All right, well, enjoy the busy park. I'll
Yes.
be online at guest relations.
Okay.
All right, number 6. Would you rather never visit Disney Springs or not be allowed to take Disney transportation?
When you say Disney transportation, like the
buses, the
buses from the
monorail.
hotels, I have to take a cab everywhere.
That or you'd have to drive. So
drive
like a Disney
everywhere.
local would be driving, but you'd be staying on property having to drive to everything.
I would take the going to Disney Springs.
Disney Springs, really? Yeah. So
Yeah.
you pick Disney Springs?
Yes, I would pick Disney Springs over transportation. I'd
Yeah.
give up the transportation because you can always get there. Disney Springs is just Disney Springs. I mean, especially if I'm at the park, if I give up the transportation, I have to have transportation anyway. I like Disney Springs. It's a respite from being in the park. Lots of good restaurants, lots of good entertainment, lots of good shopping.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd pick Disney Springs
I would
too.
pick
Because you're right,
Disney
you can
Springs.
still get to the parks.
Because you can still get
ways,
there.
So no, and Disney Springs is so unique in itself that it's like there's a lot to do in Disney Springs that you can't do in the parks. So it's like it's a very special place.
I would go down to Florida and stay a weekend if I didn't have tickets into the park and just hang out at Disney Springs a couple of days.
Yeah, no, because there's lots of stuff, lots of restaurants.
Right, you got the movie theater, you got the bowling
a lot
alley.
of entertainment. Yeah, I was gonna say.
You've got all the entertainment.
All the concerts that they do.
Right, the concerts that they do out there, all the food trucks with the people who are playing music by them, and then all the restaurants that you can go to, all the different, places that you can go. Yeah, I would keep Disney Springs.
For sure. All right, number 7. Would you rather every time you get on a ride, you have to answer a Disney trivia question, and if you get it wrong, you can't go on the ride? Or every time you get off a ride, you have to answer a Disney trivia question, but if you get the question wrong, you have to re-ride the ride until you get a Disney trivia question right?
Oh, I would do the second one.
So you just keep going on the ride
I just
over
keep
and over
going on
again.
until I got it right. Now, knowing how I do trivia, it could take a couple of rides.
So what if you're going on like Big Thunder Mountain and you keep getting stuck and you keep having to go on the roller coaster?
Oh, I wouldn't mind
times?
doing that a couple of times. I think it would be more worse if I was waiting online and then they gave me the trivia question and told me, guess what? You can't go on now.
Yeah, because you got it wrong. I guess
Now,
that's a good point.
unless they said you have to stand here until you answer one right, that's different. But if it got to the point where they'd asked me the question and I said no, and they said, well, you can't go on the ride, and I had to walk away, I would not take that.
Yeah.
I would rather get off and answer.
So you'd
the
rather
questions.
risk being trapped on a ride for an endless amount of time.
I'm going to go on the idea that at least 3 out of 5 I'd be able to get something.
Okay. I feel like this is tricky for me. I guess I
What
think
would
I
you
would
do?
I don't know. I would get nervous. I would get trapped on a ride for like hours. Like there are definitely some rides I wouldn't mind being trapped on for a long period of time. But I mean, like if you're on like even Pirates of the Caribbean for 5 hours and you can't get off the ride, it's a long time to be riding that ride.
Okay, let's say I was being optimistic that I'd be smart enough to answer, and you'd be better than me. So you know more trivia than I do.
I do, yeah. Okay. All right, well, next time when we go to Disney, it's like when we're going, actually, in real time, we actually would have gotten back right now from the time this episode comes back.
Right.
But when we get on that ride, I'm going to ask you a Disney trivia question. If you
find
get
out
it
how
wrong,
many.
I'm going to tell you. It's like, well, you're getting back
on the ride. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's do that.
I know. There's some hard Disney trivia questions out there, that's for sure. All right, number 8. Would you rather have free souvenirs, but you can't pick what you want, or every time you purchase something, they accidentally charge your card twice and they have to reverse like one of the charges?
Oh, yes. I hate doing that, but I don't need a ton of free souvenirs I don't want, so I would go with the second one.
Even though every time they charge you twice. And you have to stand
because
there
every time
and
they
have
charge
them
you,
fix
do it and you take care of it. It's like your opinion about the customer service. That's customer service too, and believe me, Disney's not the only place that does that. So yes, it's a pain in the butt, and I scream and yell when I have to do it, but I would rather do that than have a whole bunch of souvenirs I don't care about.
I think I would want the free souvenirs because one, you could always resell the souvenirs if you really wanted to. Oh. And also, I feel like even if they're not something maybe that's my top choice, I think any Disney souvenir, I think I would
so
still
you can
like.
just go buy what you want. Okay, I changed my mind on that. Okay.
Because I think I would still like it's all the souvenirs in Disney for the most part. I like to some
they're
extent.
fun. Yeah,
like there's nothing I would be like, wow, I really don't want that ugly item or that.
And if I really
item.
had to, I can just go buy my own.
Yeah, so it's like it's one of those things that I still want like the free souvenirs. I think that would still be fun.
I agree with you.
And
then.
also for me, that's one thing I really don't. I don't like when my car gets charged twice because I find that headache
so
with the credit card company to be way worse than anything else because it's so. And then you have to track all those charges. Think about looking at your bank account with like double charges for everything.
There are times that Capital One will come back and say to you, "You charged this twice. Did you mean to do that?" Sometimes I really did. I bought 2 things, like one right after the other, that were the same price or whatever. They are supposed to ask you if you got charged twice, if it was, but sometimes they don't. And by the time they do, it's too late. You've already made the call. You've already done something. I agree with you. I changed my choice.
I know. I was having a problem at work because I went to a work conference and 2 days in a row we got the same lunch, so it cost the same from each place. Even though the dates are different, where we submitted our expenses, it kept saying that there was a duplicate expense because it was the same expense at the same location for the same price. And it's like, but the dates are different because one of them was the day before and one of them was the day after. And I'm like, I had lunch twice. I ate 2 times at the same place. Why would I be penalized?
The same food. Right. I want my money.
It's so funny though. But sometimes it is confusing when those computers are reading it. They're like, it gets just confusing.
But that's why Capital One sees it and they'll come back and say, did you mean to charge this twice?
Well, it's funny because one of my friends recently asked me if I had the Disney Visa card because apparently with the Disney Visa card, there are certain meet and greets and certain things you can do that only Disney Visa card has.
Yeah, it has things attached to it.
And I told her, I was like, no, I don't have the Disney Visa card. I didn't tell her that we're DVC members because I didn't have time to mention that. That's why we get discounts and stuff like that, because the Visa card members get discounts too. But I thought that was interesting because I didn't realize there are a lot of perks for the Disney Visa card. I
didn't know they had extra perks, but I know that,
there's like certain like meet and greet lines that you can like skip the line if you're a Disney Visa card member, and like certain like discounts that you get that if you're DVC and you're a pass holder, you get the discount anyway. But if you're not though, then that's a big perk. They get those discounts. So I was thinking of looking into it, but at the same time, I also just don't want another credit card. So it's like I already have 3 credit cards and 2 of them I don't even use. I really only use one of my credit cards. So I'm like, well, I don't really want to open.
Right, and when you're with us, it doesn't matter because I get the DVC discount. Even if I don't have an annual pass, I still get the DVC discount.
Yeah, for sure. So, but anyway, all right. So we're both getting free souvenirs. So, all right, number 9. Where are we here? All right. Would you rather have a free Disney cruise to the Caribbean or free Alani trip, but the entire trip it's raining and storming the entire time? But I did this because my mom is not a cruise person. She doesn't want to go on a cruise person. So
I do have no want to get on.
So that's why I knew this one specifically is hard for you.
I also have no want to fly 16 hours to stay in stormy weather. So I think that if I really had to come down to make a choice, I would pick the cruise and deal with it. Even though I don't want to, I would pick the cruise and deal with it.
You'd force yourself to be happy on the cruise.
Yes. And it's not that I would be unhappy on the cruise. I would have to wear the bands. I would have to make sure I didn't get seasick. Yeah. I am not a fan of being cooped up. I'm not a fan of the fact that if I get sick, I'm stuck on the sea. I cannot go home.
I think back to some of those horror stories of like the beginning of COVID, when like COVID was just hitting,
when these
and people
ships
said that
stuck.
They got trapped, and they said that people who didn't have like the balconies, how it's like you'd only have 1 hour a day to walk around, then you'd be trapped in your room, and like the people who are like across the hall from you, they would try to open their doors and all their windows so that you could see the sunlight for a little bit more time than inside your cabin. And it's like that was like a month to 2 months. Some people are trapped on these ships.
I would never be in one of those rooms. I'd be in the one with the balcony. But I'm very fortunate that way. But the idea here is that once you're sick and that ship is sick, and the ships are still getting sick, they still got the norovirus running through them. They've still got, you are stuck on the sea. That's my phobia. Okay, a lot of people, I could get sick in Disney. I've been sick in Disney a lot. My thing is I like being on regular land. I like knowing that I have a choice, where to me it feels like maybe a form of claustrophobia, that if God forbid it's bad weather or the ship is tossing and turning or whatever, and I got motions.
Let's assume that the free Disney cruise in the Caribbean is like perfect weather.
Perfect.
So perfect weather.
That would be perfect, because I have nothing against cruises per se, as long as it's a nice cruise. Trapped. I mean, I've been on some junky cruises, believe me. The 2 cruises.
I imagine the Disney cruises.
Yes,
nice.
I would imagine the Disney cruises.
I say as someone who's never been on them.
Yes, but I would, from what I hear and what I know, I would assume the Disney ships are just beautiful and just high-level cruises. And I would love to go on a high-level cruise. I really would. I'd love to go on a European high-level cruise. I just have this fear of getting stuck on the ship.
But you would still pick that over the trip in Alani.
Oh God, I do not want to fly 16 hours to go sit in a hotel room.
I mean, like, it's one of those things where there's still plenty to do in Oahu.
Even not enough. Not enough. When you go to a tropical beach vacation, there are other things to do, but not enough to warrant that if you go there and the whole week is a miserable, rainy, stormy week, you are going to be miserable.
Yeah.
And then you still have a 16-hour flight home.
You'll have to suffer on that flight home.
I'm very picky. That's why I pick and choose my vacations.
Yeah, I would, of course, pick the cruises. I've always wanted to go on a Disney cruise in the Caribbean. So I'm excited to try to go on a cruise one day. All right. And our final would you rather. All right. Would you rather every time you want to sit down, there's a readily available seat in the shade, but a Disney duck will stay next to you looking for food and nipping at your ankle if you don't feed it? Or every time you go to sit down, there's a ready available seat, but it's halfway in the sun and like halfway in the shade. So
I would take the shaded one and make sure I have food to feed the duck.
Well, what if you don't have food? And
I go get food and go find the next seat, because it's telling me that every seat I want to sit down, I'm going to get shade.
So you don't mind feeding the duck?
Yeah, so I would just make sure I carried food.
Even though that food is not good for the duck, you have to get some chicken and some bugs.
Yeah, I'll carry some seed that they like. If I knew I was going to get because I got to tell you, there are days when it's really hot and sunny and I'm tired and you can't find anything in the shade. I mean, really, you just can't. I mean,
sometimes you just want to see in the shade.
I know. I just want to be in the shade. So, but I have to say, in the long run, you know what? You always find a seat somewhere, whether it's on a wall or on a curb or whatever. You always find a seat somewhere. You can always get out of the shade. But I wouldn't mind a little Disney duck being near me,
even though it was a mean Disney duck nipping at your ankle.
No, not a mean Disney duck, but I love the little Disney ducks. If I knew that was going to happen, I would just make sure I had.
Constantly.
I just carry a little bag of feed.
No, that's fair. I probably would do that too, just because I love animals.
Yes,
And
I love the
always am
ducks
such an
when they're
animal person.
around.
But I know, because I know Disneyland has the cats, even though you don't always see the cats, but I do love cats. I
When
wish
we
had
were
more
at Disney
cats.
World last time, I probably should save this for my memory. So I'll save it for my memory.
Okay, that's fine. All right, but yeah, that was all of our Would You Rather. So I hope everyone had fun playing that. Again, I made all of these up myself, just kind of randomly. So very
Some
random.
of them were tough.
Just me making them up, just for funsies, just nothing too crazy. So we do have a little bit of Disney news, just 2 items here, because this is a very pre-recorded episode because we were actually going to Disney. So by the time this episode comes out, we'll already be back from Disney. But first up is that Triceratops Spin has been dismantled, and many of the Dinerland signs have been completely taken down, making way for the Tropical America's Land. So some people are very sad by this, but yeah, I feel like I'm more excited because I'd rather the Tropical America's Land than Dinerland USA.
Yes, new
personally.
stuff, new, you know.
And also on the refurbishment side, Big Thunder Mountain has still under its refurbishment, but one of the big things is that they were actually removing the tracks on the ride, so you could see them taking apart the tracks as they're refurbishing the ride, which is just kind of interesting. I think they've done refurbishments of Big Thunder Mountain before, and they didn't physically take off the tracks. So I wonder if they're replacing the tracks or if they're just like dusting or like doing paint jobs on the tracks. Who knows what it is?
Smoothly.
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. But a lot of people were talking about that you could see them moving the tracks around, which we just had never seen before.
So it's a big refurbishment.
Yeah, big refurbishment. Yeah, it's going to be a while too. And I'm curious too, because again, they're doing the whole. They have not yet announced, as of recording this, they have not yet announced when Tom Sawyer's Island and the Rivers of America are going away to make way for the Cars themed area Frontierland. So I'm curious to see when that is going to happen and when those 2 attractions will be phased away for Cars Land. So I'm very interested about that. And again, we haven't heard anything else about when the new Villains Land will be coming as well.
No,
so like when the
there was
construction
something
for that will
today
begin.
I saw one of the blogs that somebody does that they said that they have one more permit to get to hurdle, and they said that should be in the next couple of weeks. They should get that last permit. Once that permit's through, then they should be starting the construction side.
That sounds good. All right, we have one Disney birthday this week. On March 6th is Mirabel Madrigal's birthday, so happy birthday to Mirabel. And then that leads us to our final segment of the podcast, our Disney memories. So what is your Disney
My memory's
memory?
about the Disney ducks. The last time we were there, you and Daddy went off to go, I think, on Tron. And we were going to go back towards the Main Street after Tron. So I said, I'm going to work my way back towards Main Street. And I did. And I ended up sitting right across from Casey's Corner, where, of course, there's food and
No,
tables.
I think that's when we're going on Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Oh, that's where you went. Okay, you went that way. That's right. So you were going on, and I wasn't going on. So you went your way, and I said, okay, I'm going to go find someplace to sit in the shade. And when I walked past Casey's Corner, there happened to be a table there with just 2 chairs sitting at it, empty. So I said, oh, this is perfect. I'm in the shade. There's lots of people walking by, which is one of the things I love to do, is watch things. And not only were there people walking by, but there was a family of ducks in between the tables looking for food, running all over the place, chasing each other, going after the food, running away from people, looking at them. I was so entertained. I love those Disney ducks. And they're the ones I think that hang out there all the time. Like they're usually in the water or up around. And I just love the Disney duck.
No, I do.
So I
love
would
the
just
Disney
love for them
ducks.
to be around my feet, because then I get to watch them.
I know. One of my memories for mine is that this happened years ago, so many years ago, and I've only seen it once. We were at Disney Springs at the House of Blues, and as we were leaving the restaurant, there was this little girl who was looking in the bushes that was like right outside of the House of Blues restaurant, and it's kind of by where the bar area is, where there's a stage. And I was looking at her, and I noticed she was looking at something in the bushes, and I was like, what is she looking at? And then she left, and I looked in the bushes, and there was this little tiny kitten just in the middle of the bushes, just sitting there, kind of like loafing, like it was like sleeping. And I was so shocked to see a little kitten there. I'd never seen a cat there.
Where it came from.
Never seen a cat there again. Never again have I seen a cat there around that area.
I wonder where this kitten came from.
But it was like busy. I mean, like it was nighttime. It was like music was playing, the bar was hopping, and it was just.
And
like,
it's mostly buildings. It's not like it's places where
that's
cats
what I'm saying,
can
like,
really be hanging out.
Like, where did the cat come? And it was a small cat. Like, it was definitely a kitten. So it was like I don't know where the mom. I don't know if it got separated or anything like that. But the cat didn't look scared either. It looked like it was sleeping, like it was taking a nap essentially. And so the cat looked comfortable. Is all I mean to say. So it was a stray cat. But I don't think it was like scared, like it was trapped where it was. But it was so funny because it's like if that little girl. I wonder how she noticed the cat, because you really could not see the cat unless you were looking under the bush.
It drew your attention because she was busy.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like I wonder how she even noticed it was there, because it was like summer.
Maybe it was moving
so,
when she was near it.
Yeah, or again, like she was a little girl, so maybe she was playing on the ground or something like that, and she noticed it there.
Yeah, it was
or
right behind where all the wrought iron tables and chairs are. Where people sit.
It's funny because every time I go there, I always look around to see if there are cats there, but I've never seen another cat there.
There has to be a family of cats somewhere where that kitten came from.
Yeah, I know. It's so interesting.
Because I would think that it would have to cross the road from like over where like the hotels are, where the things are.
I would say it could even be behind as well, because behind back then, I don't think that parking lot was back there. So I think it could have been more brush that was back there.
Oh, yeah,
so
could
it could have been from like behind like the Cirque du Soleil type area.
Yeah, that was so cute.
Because now there's like a parking lot over there.
Kitten in Disney World.
Yeah, no, like or I don't know if it was like how old the cat was. Could have been like a small cat at least, like maybe like 8 months to a year. But it was definitely a small cat though.
We love our animals.
I do. I've always been such a big animal person. So I'm surprised they don't work with animals, but
I know.
I do love animals.
We love our animals.
Especially the Disney animals. So
Well, it's funny because everybody, a lot, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people love them.
Yeah, a lot
You'll
of
see
people.
people, walking around taking pictures of the Disney ducks instead of everything else that's going on around
I
them.
take photos of the ducks,
because they're just so exciting.
Or like the Disney squirrels, that's a big thing.
Oh, God,
So I
yeah.
don't take photos of the squirrels, I
No.
will say, because
We have enough of our own
I have a lot of
squirrels.
squirrels in my own
Yes.
life. But I feel like some of the squirrels, like I remember when I went to Boston last, they were some of the fattest squirrels I've ever seen in my whole life in Boston when I was there last time. Like these gigantic squirrels. I was like, God damn, what are these squirrels on?
I know.
And then when I looked it up, they said it was like it's before hibernation season.
Oh,
so
so they get
sometimes you
ready
get really
to-
fat before
yeah.
hibernation season. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I was like, I don't know. There were some like big squirrels though when I was
and
there.
I have squirrels in my backyard. We used to have a very, very big oak tree, and they took it down. Thank God they took it down because there were like 8 families of squirrels in there, and they actually, poor guy that lives behind me, they ate out wires out of his Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
That's how bad these squirrels were.
Yeah.
But they're little. They're baby squirrels. Lots of baby squirrels running all over the place.
Yeah.
And even now, there's one more family now that I've seen that with little babies. So we don't get the big fat ones. But I've noticed that sometimes you'll go to Animal Kingdom and you'll see people like going crazy taking pictures, and you'll say, "Ooh, what's there? What's there?" And you go look, and it's like, "Oh, God damn, it's a squirrel."
And like squirrels are really cute. That's not to say squirrels aren't cute though, but
and some countries don't.
they don't have squirrels.
And
so that's a very
neighborhoods or
North American-
even states in the United
it's
States
a
don't
North
have
American
the
type
squirrels
of-
like we do.
of an animal. And again, they are very cute. When you look up close to them, they're very
yeah.
adorable. But it's one of those things you do kind of take for granted. It's like,
Yes.
oh, I see squirrels in my
Squirrels,
own
yeah.
hometown, or like deer in my own hometown. So it's like when I see them elsewhere, I'm like, oh yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a squirrel.
nothing big.
So I'm looking for the other animals I don't always get to see. Like we don't have ducks where I live. Like I don't see ducks. We have geese.
No, we don't
but not
see that many ducks. So that's why I said the ducks are just cute. And the way they walk around, they're not scared of anybody, which is very amazing too. Because if we do have any ducks around near us by the ponds or whatever, they don't go anywhere near
I know.
humans.
The one animal we've always wanted to see that we have not seen yet is a crocodile. So we say that with love. Obviously, don't want anyone to get hurt or anything like that.
Well, we did
But
see one
in Celebration, but that's not in the parks though. I want to.
Do you
see one in
remember the
parks.
armadillo we saw? Which shocked the hell out of me. I didn't know there were armadillos in
I
Florida.
think so. No.
One time when we stayed at the Marriott timeshare place, we had a park, and there's always bushes, like a row of bushes that you walk through, like there's a pathway that walks through to go to the elevators. And as we walked through, it rustled. And when it rustled, I looked down, and this armadillo came running out and across the parking lot.
Yeah.
I was such in shock, I didn't know what to do because
think I saw
in
that.
my mind, I have never known.
I think you saw that and you said it, but we
Yes, I
didn't see
said
it.
that was an armadillo. In my mind, I never thought I would see an armadillo in Florida. I thought they only lived out in like Texas and places like that. I didn't know they lived in Florida.
I never thought about that either. So I don't know. But yeah, let us know. What animals have you seen in
that,
Disney
you know,
World
you would
that you
never
would
see
not have
someplace
expected,
else.
or something exciting? Or do you love the squirrels? Do you not have squirrels in your hometown? Would love to know. Also, let us know how you did on the Would You Rathers. Which ones did you pick? Were you like, no, I would definitely want to pick something else here?
Right.
Or do like other suggestions you have for Would You Rathers? We'll always play more Would You Rather in the future. I think it's a really fun game in a general sense.
Right.
Definitely let us know, and make sure you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or if you're watching on our brand new YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed to the new YouTube channel. All of our archival episodes are being posted over there. We'd love to know your feedback on our Instagram. Until then, we'll see you next time.